状态. Love is a state of being. 写法. From ancient times, I love you has been a beautiful song which has been unchanged throughout the ages. People become fascinated, infatuated, and enjoyed crazy bliss when hearing, I love you. Today, I finally know that I love you is a hallucination, the unpredictable clouds, a colorful bubble, and an anesthetic. Love is a state, like the constantly shining sun, the blooming peony, the roaring river, and the bright stars twinkling in the night sky with all their luster. Love has no specific target, it is wordless, but if there are specific targets, it is not love. The sun shines down constantly on everything, but if there is a target, it is not the sun, but a searchlight, a torch, or a spotlight. Love is like the shining sun and the blooming flowers. It is a state. Neither the sun nor the flowers ever say, I love you. No matter whether anyone is watching and no matter whether the bees and butterflies come to gather nectar, the flowers always bloom on time. Love always brings warmth, auspiciousness, harmony, goodness, happiness, and positive energy, and is infinitely fascinating to all living beings. Love never shows coldness, madness, ugliness, worry, suffering, negative energy, or desperation. Love cannot hurt anyone. If love leads to pain, grief, suffering, hatred, disappointment, or desperation, it cannot be real love. Love can only be felt by love. It cannot be demanded or taken by force, nor by money, status, fame, or beauty. Love is totally free, it is priceless, needs nothing in return, and is unconditional, with neither responsibilities, obligations, nor other requirements. Love treats everyone the same. Beggars and billionaires, commoners and royalty. Love has no morals. Love has no system of values. Love lives in truth, kindness, beauty, and right, as well as in falseness, evil, ugliness, and wrong. The differences in the levels of love between different living beings are in the contents of love's energy. The more love a living being has, the higher its level is. The less love it has, the lower its level is. This is the same as the differences of kerosene lamps, electric lamps, and the sun. They are shining different lights. The kerosene lamp can only illuminate one room in a house, and the electric lamp can illuminate a yard, but the sun can illuminate a much larger area. The light of the Buddha can spread everywhere, but the light of human beings can only spread in limited regions. This is the difference between Buddhas and people. So, we understand that those who love everything and live for the benefit of all living beings are Buddhas. Those who only love and think about themselves are devils. Those who love and live for only one person or several people are animals. And those who only love and live for a group of people are human beings. According to this, we know that those who selfishly love themselves are the offsprings of devils. Those who only love one person or thing, such as within monogamous marriage, are the lowest level of animals. Those who love their families are the lowest level of human beings, and those who love their own nations, religions, organizations, and political parties are human beings, but those who live for the benefit of all living beings regardless of their own interests are more than human beings. They are bodhisattvas, angels, and Buddhas. Human beings are not worthy of speaking the word love. Love is the patent of bodhisattvas, angels, and Buddhas. Love is profaned when one person says, I love you, to another. Love is a non-material existence. Only those who have love for themselves can feel love. You will never feel love if you do not have love within yourself. Only if you have eyes can you see the eyes of other lives. Only if you are not colorblind can you see how colorful the world is. Those people with the greatest love will become super celestial beings. The greatest love is that you, yourself, completely become love. The greatest creator is love. Only by making ourselves become love can we enter the secret garden of the greatest creator, the celestial island continent of the Elysium world. 天堂在哪里? Where is heaven? 写法. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. Heaven, or the kingdom of heaven, is the general term for the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium celestial islands continent. Heaven is where those lives' non-material structures are more perfect than human ones. The greatest characteristic of heaven is the amount of freedom of life. freedom from the issues of food, clothing, shelter, transportation, disease, war, and sudden disaster. The thousand-year world is a celestial body 960 light-years away from the Earth. 10 times the size of the Earth, it is currently inhabited by approximately 200 million people. As the basic lifespans of celestial beings on this planet are about 1,000 Earth years, it is called the thousand-year world. More details are available in Chapter 14 of The Thousand-Year World, the non-material world. The 10,000-year world is a beautiful celestial body located 3,480 light-years from the Earth. It is 16 times bigger than the Earth and is equidistant from 16 suns which surround it. About 100 million celestial beings live there with similar basic characteristics as the land's celestial beings described in Taoism. They enjoy lifespans of about 35,000 Earth years, and it is thusly called the 10,000-year world. More details are available in Chapter 14 of The 10,000-Year World, the non-material world. The Elysium world is the general term for the Paradise universe. We inhabit a small place that is called the Earth universe. The Paradise universe is called this in relation to other universes. The structure of the Paradise universe is a Taiji ellipsoid which is called a low rotary galaxy. Low rotary galaxies contain 3,000 rotary river galaxies which each contain 3,000 Milky Way-type galaxies, and each Milky Way-type system contains 3,000 solar systems. In other words, the Elysium world is composed of 3,000 macro worlds, 9 million medium worlds, and 27 billion small worlds like the Earth. The Elysium world is a non-material existence. If the world on which we live were the front side of a sheet of paper, then the Elysium world would be the reverse side and we would never have access to it unless we could pass through it and enter the back. The place where humans live is also where the Elysium world exists, for the Earth is within the realm of the Elysium world. The Elysium world has 10 continents: the Lotus continent, the Borneo continent, the Kasayapa continent, the Ingwu continent, the Amida Buddha continent, the Celestial Islands continent, the Three Worlds, the Two-Way continent, the Moon Temple continent, the Gods continent, the Supreme Authentic Wisdom continent. The Celestial Islands continent is one of the continents of the Elysium world. These 10 continents are also called the Pure Land or the Buddha Land. Refer to the Elysium word within the non-material world. The place to which Life Changyuan guides Changyuan celestials toward is the Elysium Celestial Islands continent. It has 80 billion islands. Apart from the 30 billion islands that have been homesteaded by celestial beings, the remaining 50 billion islands are currently uninhabited. The celestial beings in the Elysium Celestial Islands continent are called super-celestial beings, or Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. When people are asked where heaven and hell are, many of them answer that heaven and hell are in people's hearts. This is only half true because the idea is that the whole of the universe depends on the mind and all rules depend on cognition. The environment is created and generated by the mind, and everyone's closest friends and dearest relatives are in their minds, are only half true. Heaven and hell would still exist if people did not think about them, just as people's relatives who live far away would not disappear if they did, and they would still exist even if they were not thought about or even forgotten. Absolute idealism can confuse people. Actually, it is easy to go to heaven, but it is extremely difficult to break our obsession. Many secrets seem very mysterious, but once they are pierced, they become clear and simple. 程序在运行. The program is running. 写法. There is a saying, fishes are in the water, and humans are in the Tao. All things in the universe are running in the Tao. If we have difficulty understanding the elusive Tao, let me make it simple. We can also call it program. So the above saying could be, fishes are in the water and humans are in the program. And all things in the universe are running in the program. What is program? In Chinese, program is 程序. 程 means the rule, law, pattern, and equation. 序 means sequence and order. Program, 程序, means the order of formation, development, change, and evolution of a thing according to established rules. The computer we use is the best example of program. We can somehow say that a computer is a program. To use a computer, we need to follow programs. Whoever is good at programming is a computer expert. Hackers are computer experts who can break, interrupt, and change computer programs. Computer programs are designed by human beings, while the program of the universe is designed by the greatest creator. The seasonal order of spring, summer, autumn, and winter in some areas of the Earth is a program. The order of seasons is strictly changing according to the program. Spring comes after winter, and winter comes after autumn. They have been in that order for thousands of years. The process of a human body changes in the order of a fetus, baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, and senior is also an established program. Human beings have to go through this process, which is out of their control. The germination, growth, flowering, fruiting, and withering of a plant is also a program. The law of causality, reap what you sow, is also an established program. You will not reap banana if you sow melon, and you will not reap cherry if you sow bean. What goes around comes around. The treacherous are cheated by the treacherous, and the honest are appreciated by the honest. If you pursue Buddhahood, you attain Buddhahood, and if you admire the beast, you acquire the nature of the beast. If you do not give freedom to others, you will not get freedom yourself. If you want to control others, you will be controlled. Furtiveness and deceit will make you a ghost and lead you to hell, while integrity and good merits will make you a celestial and lead you to heaven. This is also a program. When a man reaches a certain age, facial, armpit, and pubic hair start to grow. When a woman reaches a certain age, she starts to have menses. When a child is born, the mother begins to lactate. When a woman reaches menopause, she starts to have fewer and fewer menses until they stop. It is a biological program. The traditional family is also a program. When one gets married, he or she has to live according to the family program, which is beyond their control. Countries are programs. When one becomes a citizen of a country, he or she must involuntarily follow the country's program. If there is no external force, things will run around and around according to the rules of the program. Life will reincarnate according to the set program. To avoid constraints of the program, there must be an external force, without which the development of things will not change the track. It is just like a man is not able to make his feet leave the ground by dragging his hair. The external force is not necessarily a mechanical force. An accident, a phenomenon, a book, a story, and a sentence, even an insect, a hairstyle, a blade of grass, or an action could become the force. As long as it is able to change the existing program, no matter how small the changes are, it is an external force. The teachings of Jesus Christ, Buddha Sakyamuni, Prophet Muhammad, and Confucius are very strong external forces. How many programs are there in the universe? There are numerous. There is the program governing the movements of planets, the program of society's development, and the program of life changes. Each space has its own program. Each plant and animal has their own growing program. There are master programs and subprograms. There are long-term programs, short-term programs, etc. Programs are very rigorous. While they are also layered and closely related, they are causes and effects and are flexible to change. The master program is normally unchangeable, while subprograms are changeable. For example, it is difficult to change the master program of birth, growth, aging, and death of a human, while things like short-term depression can be changed by external forces such as inspiring words or actions. The change of the master program of how hair grows is very difficult, but the hairstyle can be changed easily. The master program of the nature of life is almost impossible to change, but the direction of life can be changed. You cannot touch a pitch and not be mucked. Without the external force, the track of life will not change. Life follows its trail. Once there is an external force, the track of life changes. A single conversation across the table with a wise man is worth 10 years of studying books. One takes the way of saints when influenced by a saint, and one takes the way of robbers when influenced by a robber. A butcher becomes a Buddha the moment he drops his cleaver. A thought and an idea can change one's destiny. Whichever direction you choose at an intersection without a sign, the corresponding program starts to work. For example, at the intersection of 4 roads, the first road leads to hell, the second to the human world, the third to the Buddha world, and the fourth to the celestial world. Where there is no road sign, our choice activates the corresponding program and it will lead us to a destination unless we change the route midway. All programs are predefined, but human beings can transfer from one program to another. When a man exits one program, he enters another. It is impossible to enter an area that is not within a program. Human beings can only enter 12 programs, and the best and most free life program is the program of the Elysium world. When one life possesses the consciousness of a human being, he lives in the program of the human world and will therefore be constrained by the limits of the program. Once a life possesses the consciousness of a celestial being, his living program starts to slowly transfer to the program of the Elysium world, which means he has changed his life track. All programs are already designed, and many of them are hidden programs. Once conditions are met, any incident will activate the program. It is just like a landmine. It explodes when you step on it, but as long as it is not touched, it will remain hidden underground. It is also like drinking potassium cyanide. You will immediately feel terrible in your organs, foam at the mouth, and quickly bleed to death. When conditions are not ripe, the program will not activate. When the temperature is not warm enough, mosquitoes and flies will not revive and fly. When yin and yang do not meet each other, lightning and thunder will not fill the sky. Without proper humidity and temperature, seeds will not germinate. Before one has reached a certain stage of self-cultivation, he or she will not transform into a celestial being. One cannot enter into an oasis if he or she has not walked out from a desert. One cannot enter a new program if he or she does not leave the traditional family. One cannot enter heaven if he or she does not walk out of the human world. In short, these are predefined programs. When a program is activated, do not worry, for it will run automatically. It is just as a female egg will grow automatically once it is fertilized. We feed a child every day, so he will grow as well. In spring, if we spread seeds in the land, they will automatically germinate, flower, and fruit. It is the result as well as the power of the program. As long as we plant seeds, there will be fruits. This is how the program works. However, we must wait for the fruit to become ripe. We can get some fruits very quickly, while we need to wait more time to get others. And for some seeds, we need to wait a very long time to get their fruits. Peach fruits in 3 years and apricot in 4 years, while we need to wait 18 years to be able to enjoy the fruit of walnuts. Anxiety does no good. As a man sows, so he shall reap. We do not see the fruit, not because it is barren, but we shall see it when the time is right. By observing the current situation of humans in the society, we can know their past. By observing their current behaviors, we can forecast their future. If we do not see anything happen in 5 years, wait for another 5 years, and if still nothing happens, wait for 100 years. In a word, what goes around comes around. This is because the program is running and is not fortune-telling. We must trust programs and trust that as long as we give, we gain. We need to give first in order to gain. If we give others love, we will gain a beautiful life, future, or something else. If we cheat others or take a bribe of $100,000, we get many temporary benefits, but in the future, we might need to pay the price of a limb, face a calamity, or reincarnate to an animal to pay our debts. Therefore, any behavior that tries to take advantage of others is foolish, cheating and lying is stupid, and being opportunistic is short-sighted. Throw a long line to catch a big fish. Being diligent on self-cultivation, it is possible to achieve the life level of a celestial being. Do not care that you get a return when you are committed to something. Just make your contribution wholeheartedly and ask not for gain. As long as you give, you will gain. This is because the program is running. 穷人进不了天堂. The poor cannot enter into heaven. Xiefeng. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. This is a cruel reality because even Jesus Christ said, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God." We take it for granted that the kingdom of God belongs to the poor. However, after more than 10 years of harvesting the ripe crops, I have found that the poor cannot enter into heaven. The most distinctive feature of the poor is that they take, while that of the rich is that they give. A person who takes constantly is continuously sinning, accumulating debt, and digging deeper into debt. According to the law of the gravitation of life and the rules of the sum of positive and negative energies always equal 0, the poor will have to stay within the 6 great divisions in the wheel of karma without any hope of entering heaven. Heaven belongs to the rich and hell belongs to the poor. This fact sounds so miserable that I feel unkind saying it or even thinking it. It is the same as putting a knife into the hearts of the poor as their blood pours out. However, not telling the truth would mean that I, Xiefeng, am a big liar. And as those who conceal the truth would certainly go straight to hell. So who are the rich and who are the poor? Those who give wealth to others, to society, and to nature without incurring debts are rich, but those who constantly take from others, from society, and from nature while incurring debts are poor. What is wealth? What others, society, and nature need is wealth. Wealth is defined as soul wealth, spiritual wealth, and material wealth. All that can bring others' minds peace, serenity, and calmness are soul wealth. All that can encourage and cheer others on, or that can bring them passionate enthusiasm of life are spiritual wealth, and all that can offer the conveniences of food, clothing, shelter, transportation, birth, aging, illness, and death are material wealth. As long as you owe a debt and continue to take, you will be among the poor, but as long as you are not in debt and continue to give, you will be among the rich. Debt contains three aspects. Economic debt, to own others' money, including bank loans which have not been returned, to borrow others' things without returning them or to damage them without compensating their owners, houses without compensating their owners, to receive others' services or treats but not return or repay them, and so on are what we call economic debt. Emotional debt, care from grandparents, love and care received from childhood by our parents, concern and care from siblings, help from friends, relatives, and neighbors, guidance from superiors, and the cooperation of workmates, education and guidance from masters and teachers, care and consideration from lovers and spouses, special filial piety from children, and similar ties are all forms of emotional debt. Spiritual debt, the greatest Creator's grace, such as the enjoyment of the sun, the air, and the water, the pleasure to experience the splendid kaleidoscopic world, the spiritual teachings and the guidance of God, Buddha, celestial beings, and many saints and sages are all spiritual debts. Referring to the three types of debt above, you will easily know whether you are rich or poor. Isa billionaire rich. This is hard to say. Is a farmer in a distant village poor? This is equally hard to say. A billionaire who is in debt and keeps taking is poor, but a farmer with no debts and who is able to give themselves to others, society, and nature is rich. There are many ways to devote oneself to others, society, and nature. Whether it is materialistically, intellectually, or ideologically, or spiritually, as long as they give to others, to society, and to nature, that is devotion and dedication. To give a sweet smile is devotion, as are making others happy and joyous, and bringing people hope and pleasure is devotion to society, and protecting nature from damage is devotion to nature. But the most valuable and significant of all types of giving is what Buddha Sakyamuni called formless almsgiving. In conclusion, those who have given more than they have taken will enter heaven. Those who have taken more than their share of blessings will go to hell. Those who have given equally to what they have taken will continue their reincarnations into the mortal world. Who can give and pay dedications and devotions effectively? Only the rich, so heaven is theirs. The poor have nothing to give or pay back for their poverty, so they cannot go to the heaven, but only fall toward reincarnating into the animal level. All the poor must awake and watch. 内在结构决定一切. Internal structure is what matters. Xiefeng. The nature and function of things are determined by their internal structures. Sugar is sweet while tea is bitter, and this is decided by their structure, not by people. The price of a 1 carat, 0.2 g, diamond is 14,000 RMB yuan, but the price of an ounce of gold is only about 10,270 RMB yuan. That is to say that 1 carat of gold costs 70 renminbi yuan. The price difference between diamonds and gold is 200:1. The fundamental reason lies in the different internal structures of the two. The value of 1 carat of common stone is too small to measure. The greatest creator, gods and Buddha, angels, bodhisattvas, celestial beings, devils, demons, monsters, mortals, evil spirits, animals, and other life are quite different from one another, and the reason is also because of their different internal structures. Celestials, saints, sages, mortals, laity, laymen, and ignorant people are all humans. But they are unlike each other because each has a different internal structure. It is as with mushrooms that some are nutritious and will feed you, but some others are poisonous and will sicken or kill you. This too is because of their different internal structures. From this we can understand that the role a person plays, the responsibilities that they assume, and the accomplishments that they achieve are completely determined by their internal structure and not by others or by society. Gems are inlaid into crowns, while cobblestones are not. Thus we further understand that it is wrong to envy or admire others, or to blame social injustice. In any case, we should neither complain, resent, nor loathe having a low social status or position. This is called being content in poverty and devoted to spiritual matters. Since we understand that all things are determined by internal structures, we should then make efforts to change and perfect our own internal structures rather than flattering or currying favor with others, using connections for special treatment, envying and admiring others, complaining and resenting others or our society, seeking magic power or skills, seeking shortcuts or begging for mercy and help, blaming or accusing others for our bad luck, being opportunistic, or finding secrets to success. Peaches and plums do not talk, but people come to pick them. The fragrance of flowers attract butterflies. Peonies do not assume their beauty, but people naturally sing songs about them. No matter how flies and mosquitoes dress themselves, people will still detest them. Beggars cannot have refined tastes. Dog meat is not to be served at feasts. Those who lack elegance and good etiquette are not presentable. In short, the internal structure of each thing determines its social role and status. At this point, if someone still complains about heaven and earth or blames others or society for their ill treatment or bad luck in life, or finds excuses and reasons to blame others rather than themselves for their failures, then they would have to be either ignorant or just plain stupid. Are you not satisfied with your current situation? Do not find external excuses and reasons, but make sure to look for source causes from your own internal structure. The internal structures of things are determined by their quality. Taking people, for example, good intrinsic qualities are marked with diligence, kindness, purity, honesty, integrity, modesty, and open-mindedness, whereas bad qualities are shown as jealousy, blame, selfishness, greed, laziness, arrogance, dishonesty, and narrow-mindedness. A person who does not have good quality can never be smooth and refined no matter how they struggle, be accomplished in their career, or sail easily through life. They may enjoy good fortune for brief times, but not for very long. People who are moving toward heaven through self-refinery and self-improvement should never waste valuable time and energy on changing the external world or on changing their external appearance. They should invest their time and energy into improving and perfecting the non-material structures of their lives and on developing good quality. If their quality is not excellent and their structure is not perfect, then they can never reach heaven. It is the same as with a hard rock. Try as it may, it will never be cherished and valued by others. It must alter its internal structure in order to be valued and loved as a treasure and be applied in the most eye-striking and noble places. 内在结构决定一切. Internal structure is what matters. Xiefeng. The nature and function of things are determined by their internal structures. Sugar is sweet while tea is bitter, and this is decided by their structure, not by people. The price of a 1 carat, 0.2 g, diamond is 14,000 RMB yuan, but the price of an ounce of gold is only about 10,270 RMB yuan. That is to say that 1 carat of gold costs 70 renminbi yuan. The price difference between diamonds and gold is 200:1. The fundamental reason lies in the different internal structures of the two. The value of 1 carat of common stone is too small to measure. The greatest creator, gods and Buddha, angels, bodhisattvas, celestial beings, devils, demons, monsters, mortals, evil spirits, animals, and other life are quite different from one another, and the reason is also because of their different internal structures. Celestials, saints, sages, mortals, laity, laymen, and ignorant people are all humans, but they are unlike each other because each has a different internal structure. It is as with mushrooms that some are nutritious and will feed you, but some others are poisonous and will sicken or kill you. This too is because of their different internal structures. From this, we can understand that the role a person plays, the responsibilities that they assume, and the accomplishments that they achieve are completely determined by their internal structure and not by others or by society. Gems are inlaid into crowns, while cobblestones are not. Thus, we further understand that it is wrong to envy or admire others, or to blame social injustice. In any case, we should neither complain, resent, nor loathe having a low social status or position. This is called being content in poverty and devoted to spiritual matters. Since we understand that all things are determined by internal structures, we should then make efforts to change and perfect our own internal structures rather than flattering or currying favor with others, using connections for special treatment, envying and admiring others, complaining and resenting others or our society, seeking magic power or skills, seeking shortcuts or begging for mercy and help, blaming or accusing others for our bad luck, being opportunistic, or finding secrets to success. Peaches and plums do not talk, but people come to pick them. The fragrance of flowers attract butterflies. Peonies do not assume their beauty, but people naturally sing songs about them. No matter how flies and mosquitoes dress themselves, people will still detest them. Beggars cannot have refined tastes. Dog meat is not to be served at feasts. Those who lack elegance and good etiquette are not presentable. In short, the internal structure of each thing determines its social role and status. At this point, if someone still complains about heaven and earth or blames others or society for their ill treatment or bad luck in life, or finds excuses and reasons to blame others rather than themselves for their failures, then they would have to be either ignorant or just plain stupid. Are you not satisfied with your current situation? Do not find external excuses and reasons, but make sure to look for source causes from your own internal structure. The internal structures of things are determined by their quality. Taking people, for example, good intrinsic qualities are marked with diligence, kindness, purity, honesty, integrity, modesty, and open-mindedness, whereas bad qualities are shown as jealousy, blame, selfishness, greed, laziness, arrogance, dishonesty, and narrow-mindedness. A person who does not have good quality can never be smooth and refined no matter how they struggle, be accomplished in their career, or sail easily through life. They may enjoy good fortune for brief times, but not for very long. People who are moving toward heaven through self-refinery and self-improvement should never waste valuable time and energy on changing the external world or on changing their external appearance. They should invest their time and energy into improving and perfecting the non-material structures of their lives and on developing good quality. If their quality is not excellent and their structure is not perfect, then they can never reach heaven. It is the same as with a hard rock. Try as it may, it will never be cherished and valued by others. It must alter its internal structure in order to be valued and loved as a treasure and be applied in the most eye-striking and noble places. 让我们来读无字天书. Reading the book without words. Xiefeng. Translated by Transin and edited by Care. There are 3 types of books. The first one is with words, such as newspapers, magazines, journals, and other publications, both paper and online. The second is with symbols, such as sculptures, paintings, and music. The third kind includes everything in nature. The so-called book without words refers to all images and things in nature with neither words nor symbols. The most esoteric of the 3 books is the one without words, but the simplest is the one with words. People with low spiritual natures can only read books with words, but only people with high spiritual natures can read the book without words. What the gods, Buddha, celestial beings, and saints read is the book without words. The 6th Zen patriarch, Huineng, was illiterate, but became the patriarch because he could read the book without words. Therefore, if a person wants to become a master, a celestial being, or Buddha, they must read the book without words. Reading things, phenomena, and people is reading the book without words. Let us try to read it. A person with body odor or halitosis, bad breath, might not be aware of it. When we eat garlic or green onions, we do not smell them ourselves, but others will smell them and will know it. The natures and attributes of things give off their corresponding smells. Those who have smelled or eaten durian know it by its smell. We can learn this truth from the book without words. The essence is revealed from the phenomenon. For instance, If we want to know a person's nature, we can learn their internal natural structure from what they have said and done before. Many allusions in Chinese history are full of wisdom, such as the relationship between Su Dongpa and Master Foyan. Su Dongpa always wanted to outsmart Master Foyan, but he never succeeded. Once, Master Foyan told Su Dongpa that he looked like a statue of Buddha, but Su Dongpa replied that Master Foyan looked like a heap of cow dung. To this, Master Foyan just smiled and walked away silently. Su Dongpa thought he had taken the upper hand this time, so he joyfully told his smart sister Su Xiaomei about it when he got home. Hearing this, Su Xiaomei said, "You are utterly defeated this time. Because Master Foyan has Buddha in his heart, he sees a statue of him in you. But you have a heap of cow dung in your heart, so you see that in him." Nature reveals what it is. The benevolent see benevolence, and the wise see wisdom. A person who is filled with love can feel nature's love and others' love, but a person with no love in their heart can never feel your love regardless of how much you show it. Those who always compliment others have rich and beautiful spirits and souls, but those who always demean, mock, criticize, insult, and attack others, and who always speak badly about them, both to their faces and behind their backs, most clearly have ugly souls and extremely poor spirits. Speaking well of others shows that one is good, but speaking ill of others shows that one is not. Flowers always emit lovely fragrances wherever they are, but dog droppings always give off undesirable stench in spite of their surroundings. One who accuses others of heresy exposes that they themselves are heretical. As with Su Dongpa, he had cow dung in his heart, so he saw Master Foyan as such. Therefore, people should not care about others' comments and judgments. Flies and mosquitoes will consider you disgusting because they are disgusting, but butterflies will find you beautiful because they are beautiful. An artist painted a picture which he believed to be fairly good, but he wanted to know how people would react to it. So he left his picture in a public place with a brush and some ink next to it and wrote on top of the painting, "Please point out any faulty strokes in this painting." At day's end, he recovered his painting, but the painting was completely different. Each stroke was criticized as being faulty. The painter was so sad and distressed that he barely slept that night. But the next day, he painted the exact same picture as before and took it back to that same public place, except this time he wrote, "Please point out the superb artistry of this painting." At the end of the day, the painting was again completely different, except that now all the comments described its elegance and beauty. He sighed with emotion. The good or bad of the painting was determined by the viewer's state. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Quantum mechanics also explains the same principle. The movements of fundamental particles are decided by the consciousness of the persons watching them. The Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto found that the structures of pure ice crystals can be shaped by the mentalities of people observing them. If the observer's heart is full of love, or if the freezing water is exposed to positive emotions, such as love or gratitude, or to music, prayers, or art, the ice crystals become symmetric and perfect. But if the observer's heart is filled with hate, or if the water is exposed to negativity, such as mean words or destructive images, they appear very disorderly and irregular. Therefore, we should not be affected by others' comments about ourselves, or we will be fooled. The Pygmalion, or Rosenthal, effect on psychology illustrates this point well. People develop in line with others' suggestions and expectations. We must only be committed to ourselves and ignore other people's comments in order to live out our own lives. If someone accuses you of being mentally disordered, just smile and do not get upset, for it is they who are mentally disturbed. But if someone praises you as being a saint, do not be blindly proud, for it is they who are the saint. Let us read the book without words as such. I have written more than 100 articles on revelations which may help you to find your enlightenment. 如何知道自己的前世? How to know our previous lives. Dayform Celestial. Translated by Transin and edited by Care. The hypnotic induction method is one way, but we can also observe ourselves from the life clues found in our previous lives. The universe is holographic, our life is holographic, and our life information base contains all of the information from all the ages of all life journeys of all generations, and the information is always passed down. This information is hidden, but it will reveal itself every now and then. By capturing these momentarily revealed clues, we can trace our pasts. Understanding the life characteristics of 36-dimensional space is conductive for us to understand more of our previous lives. There is only one kind of human nature, but from the people that we know and those that we know of through various channels, we can see that human nature are diverse and colorful. There are quantum differences between people, sometimes even poles apart. The reasons are that people have different origins. Some are from the heaven world, some from the animal world, and some are reincarnations from the mortal world. Even for those from the heaven world, there are great differences. Those from the Elysium world and from the thousand-year world can never be the same. Likewise, even for those from the animal world, those who were carnivores will have totally different natures than those who were herbivores. In this sense, mankind is a rabble. The mortal world is a tenement yard for all kinds of lives. There are hundreds of thousands of clues to trace our previous lives, but we can only have rough ideas about them from these clues. Here are 18 examples. If you have holographic order thinking, congratulations, then you are from the side of the greatest creator. You are a god. If you have formless thinking, congratulations, then you came to the mortal world from the Elysium world. You were a Buddha. If you know that you can change a world magically, then you were a super celestial being. If you were born to like freedom and always seek happiness and joy, you can follow your heart's desire without overstepping the line, then you were a celestial being. If you often dream of flying freely, your mind and body are often in a strange state of joy, you have no fear of death and hate your life in the mortal world, then you are from the 10,000-year world. If you are always looking for the way back home and feel that you do not belong to the mortal world, you are moreover benevolent and kind, a fun lover. You do not want to be fettered by states, religions, organizations, or families, and you fancy and yearn for a better life in the future, then you are from the 1,000-year world. If you have the Taiji thinking and you are super wise, clever, and gifted, then you were someone influential in society, maybe even a sage or saint. If you love your own nation, culture, family, and family life, and think all this is perfectly justified, then you were a mortal human. If you often dream of flying in your dreams, but still feel attached to the mortal world, then you were a bird. If you derive pleasure from and even love eating meat and have never felt the suffering and misery of life being slaughtered for meat, then you were a predatory carnivore. If you naturally prefer vegetarian or vegan foods, are naturally timid and afraid of being hurt, like to depend on groups, love your family and religion, then you were a docile herbivore. If you inherently want to be a policeman, are very sensitive to theft and crime in society, and always want to arrest criminals, then you were feline, a cat. If you innately want to be a soldier, are willing to defend your land and home, then you were a dog or wolf. If you naturally prefer to take, embezzle, and steal, then you were a mouse or other rodent. If your nature is to bear hardship without complaining, endure bullying without resisting, harbor grudges without showing them in words and deeds, be trampled upon and feel powerless to resist, completely abide by your destiny, then you were a farm animal from the livestock world. If you are naturally aggressive and quick-thinking, good at sorcery, and can derive pleasure from the pain of other life, then you are from the devil world. If you have extraordinary bearing and charming style, are endearing and extremely selfish, then you were a goblin. If you are clever in trivial matters and have mastered a lot of magic tricks, you always watch for your chance to seize others' love and property, then you were an evil spirit. Draw analogies by checking yourself against the dispositions of other life, and you will find traces of your previous lives. Note: life in the inflamed layer, the frozen layer, and the netherworld usually do not directly enter the human world. Insects and many plants belong to other life cycles, which never enter into the human world. The above is only a general outline. If you want to know your previous lives from A to Z, you will have to observe and verify repeatedly. Like a Trax-like, you can also find your shadows of the past from those people with whom you associate most often and most closely. After reading this article, some people may be excited, but others may be angry. Please calm down, because what you see is your past, not your present. No matter what you were in the past, you are now a human. After you know the coordinate system and your coordinate point, you will have a clear idea of the direction and destination of your life's evolution. If you think this article is bullshit and nonsense, just take it as a fun game. Please refer to the next article. How to predict your own afterlife. 如何推测自己的来世? How to predict your own afterlife. Dayform Celestial. Translated by Transin and edited by Care. Everything has the ability to move and develop, and this includes life. When we see a pregnant woman, we know that she is conceiving life. She is having a baby. After the baby is born, we know that it will gradually grow up, move from childhood to adolescence, youth, middle age, and old age. After spring, we know it will be summer, fall, and winter. As long as we know our situation, we can predict our life state in our next phase. To speculate about your afterlife, you first need to understand the non-material structural state of your life. You cannot see your life's non-material structure with your naked eyes. The only way to do this is to examine your own consciousness. You can predict your afterlife according to the characteristics of your own consciousness. Consciousness is the essences of life. Different consciousnesses determine different life states. Some days ago, Foshan Celestial and I went to enjoy a terrace in Yuanyang, Yunnan. When we went deep into the village and I saw how some elderly Han people were having hard lives, I asked him, these elderly people have suffered in this valley throughout their lifetimes. Will they continue to be here in their afterlives? They should leave this valley. Foshan Celestial replied, they will continue to reincarnate here because they have no other place or world in their consciousnesses unless they desire to leave this valley and learn about the outside world. This answer reveals the secret of reincarnation. Consciousness decides existence. To an individual life, what is not in consciousness does not exist. What is wanted to be exist, it must exist in consciousness at first. As the French philosopher René Descartes put it, I think, therefore I am. Why do I have the nerve to say that I can guide Chanyuan Celestials to the Celestial Islands continent? Because I keep infusing the content of it into them. When they understand all the details about it, especially the characteristics of life and the lifestyles of the super celestial beings there, and gradually clear away other consciousnesses, they will undoubtedly go to the Celestial Islands continent in their next lives. This is scientific truth. It is meticulous and exact. So, how can you predict your own afterlife? You must read and fully understand life's 18 qualities in humans, beings, and life first, and then you will know. People look alike in appearance, but they are very different deep inside. At the same time, you can check your faults by referring to the Supreme Book of Rewards and Punishments. Here are seven suggestions. If you have killed many dogs, then you will be a dog in your next life. This is karma and exact. You can make analogies for other cases. If you have murdered a person, then you will inevitably go to the hell world, the inflamed layer or the frozen layer. Divine's punishments, though slow, are always sure, with big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through. If you have abused life, then you will definitely go to the hell world, the netherworld. You reap what you sow. If you oppress the good and kind, swindle and cheat, steal and loot, then you will go to the animal world. As you sow, so shall you reap. If you love freedom, but are still ignorant, then you will be a bird. If you owe too many debts that are left unpaid, then you will likely go to the livestock world. If you are kind and hardworking and love your family, culture, and state very much, then you will continue to be reborn as mortal human. Remember the warnings and teachings of Jesus Christ. If you leave a penny of unpaid debt, then you cannot leave the place where you owe it. If you have unfulfilled wishes, then you will return back to the mortal world. You will have to investigate into your past lives. Do not assume that if you forget something, it will just go away. Make a careful list of your wrongdoings from the Supreme Book of Rewards and Punishments. If you find some, do not just let them go, but learn to compensate. Here are six suggestions. If you have harmed animals, henceforth love them. If you have harmed people, henceforth love them. If you owe someone emotionally, pay back the emotion. If you owe debts, pay back the debts. Ask for forgiveness for the damage, abuse, and bullying of people or other life. Do merits as far as possible and do merits according to the teachings of Buddha. Do more formless almsgiving. If your merits are great enough, you can compensate for your faults and debts that have accumulated over many generations. If you have a clear conscience and have paid back the grace of your parents and nature, and if you do not owe a single debt to any person or animal, then you will be free to go to heaven in your next life. Those who talk about spirits, deities, fortune, and disaster, lose nature, are sneaky, speak voices dripping with sarcasm, resort to sorcery, and talk nonsense will become ghosts, demons, and monsters. We can just look at the variety of fruits and flowers that we see. Why are they so different from each other? The reason lies in the structures of their lives. Their different life structures are the differences of their entities, and in the teachings of Chinku and Celestial, their forms and uses will be different. Always remember these four truths. If you eliminate the concepts of family, nation, culture, and religion from your consciousness, are fond of freedom, happiness, and joy, have repaid all your debts in the mortal world, and have done merits, then you will go to the 1,000-year world of heaven. If you often dream of flying and are in a state of joy without having sexual contact, then you will go to the 10,000-year world of heaven. If you possess Buddha consciousness, then you will go to the corresponding Elysium world. If you revere the greatest creator, revere life, take the way of the greatest creator, have obtained supernatural powers, and can fancy an ideal world, then there is no doubt that you will go to the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. You are the one who knows best about what kind of non-material structure your life has achieved. If you do not know, then your spiritual perception has not yet opened, and you should work at opening it. The above are general ideas and may not be very accurate, but they can serve as a general navigation. You need to